Hey guys, it's me, Shell, and I'm back again with another video. Face reveal. Hey, look, I'm a black dude. Hilarious. Today I just want to talk about tournaments. Tournament that I went to recently. Tournament that I was fortunate enough to win. Just want to go through a little recap and kind of just about the toxicity of just like tournaments and just some of the things that I've noticed. Just a little background. I've only been to 7 tournaments. I've won 4 out of those 7 tournaments, two being 5Ks, one being a qualifier, just a 40-man tournament, and then a local. And I lost at the Boyle, like really bad. And then I lost at the Redemption event, also really bad. And whatever. But this one I want to talk about. I went to one that's pretty recently. It's like for the Black Lotus Invitational. I was fortunate enough to be able to win that, and I just want to go through that and just some of the things that I've been seeing at tournaments and stuff like that, and also talk about the deck that I was playing and things like that. Some things are just kind of bothering me a little bit. I just want to get off my mental, get off my mind. Wrong camera. I was looking at the wrong camera. Haha. Starting off, so the deck I was playing there was Kark Silas. Right, not Kruk Saka. I played this. One of the guys is at my LGS. Kind of dared me to play. He's like, I bet you won't register, Kark Silas. And I was like, I bet you I will. And I did. Um, I played this deck for a couple of months, for like maybe a week or two. And then I built it like a day or two before the tournament. And I had like 2 games on it, or whatever. That's going to be important later. Wrong camera again. um, so let's talk about the rounds a little bit and like what kind of going on. It's probably gonna be a little bit longer video. Depends on how fast I talk. So again, this tournament I wasn't really gonna go to. I was thinking about it, especially because it was like a pay, like when you get there. So it wasn't like you register and pay like on the website. You pay when you get there, and a lot of people say I'm gonna go and they don't go, even when they do pay. So I was kind of iffy about it, and I kind of want to spend time with my family. Um, but nevertheless, say I decided to go. Um, and things like that. So I show up, blah blah. I tell people, hey, I say, what are you playing? I'm like, I'm playing Karkside. They're like, oh, you mean Rockside? I'm like, Karkside. And I don't think the deck's like super fringe or anything anymore. It's won a big event. So I'm not special or I'm not like da da da. In fact, I got a lot of help from some of the guys from the top tier banger Discord. Trigger and Pro Shaka. They helped me a lot. Some of the deck choices and some of the cards that actively like led to me winning the tournament. So big shout out to them and thank you for your support and all this different type of stuff. So let's talk about round one. Round one was kind of a wash for me. I was seat 4. And again, I'm just gonna say what happened. I'm not kind of disparage players, gameplay, whatever. I'm just say what happened, right? So essentially, I'm in seat 4. Seat 1's Kennen, seat 2's Malcolm Vile, seat 3 is Elevere, and I'm in seat 4. I'm all down to 5. I keep a Soul Ring, Bergie, Land, Jesk as well, and I believe like another land. I don't forget the 5th card is, but I'm all down to 5. It's pretty bad, right? But I'm thinking, Kennen's in seat 1, and then there is a Elevere in seat 3. So like maybe they'll stacks up the game because they see there's 2 Grixis players. Maybe they'll try to slow it down, blah blah blah, and I can possibly catch up or possibly get some traction going, right? So turn 1 goes by. This is where I knew I was kind of cooked. Turn 1 goes. Kennen player plays Colorless Land. Okay, whatever. Passes turn. All right, whatever. Not that big of a deal. Turn 1. The Malcolm Vile gets Malcolm out. No big shock. Actually, they get out a Spectral Sailor. I believe turn 1. Then turn 1, Elevator doesn't do anything of note. I cast Soul Ring, nothing really of note. Turn 2 rolls by. Kennen plays another colorless land. Nani? They play a Talon against Madara, right? The phase out doesn't matter. They're in first seat. Nothing's going on. They use the filter ability on the Talon Gates to get out an elf, a Lone War elf, and I'm just like, shit. I'm like, fuck. Then goes Malcolm. Malcolm gets out. Malcolm starts making treasures. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Then comes out Soulless Jailer from Elevator. So I'm like, okay, cool. They're playing like I guess like a stack speed. I mean, I guess right. Soulless Jailer comes out. I don't really care. I play Bergie. I'm like, okay, next turn I cast Clark. I can probably get Jessica's Will off and try to get some traction. Try to get some things going, right? Try to go for a little something. I don't remember what I draw, but I think I was in a position where if my card flip like didn't screw me, that I was gonna potentially have a turn 3 attempt, right? Kennen goes to their third turn, cast Kennen, Yerp. Pass turn goes to Malcolm Vile. Malcolm Vile. Oh, insta. Malcolm. This is when I knew I was for sure cooked. Malcolm ignores my Bergie and Deadly Relics to Kennen, right? I'm like, oh fuck, that's crazy. Cool. That's awesome. I'm like, oh shit, they don't give a fuck about this Bergie. Okay, so I'm a little bit like I might be cooked, but I know the player, he's a pretty good player, so I'm like, I know like that would definitely go to my Bergie if he'd have a plan in mind. Goes his turn. Yep, Necro. Look at Kennen, you got anything? Nah, bro. Look at Elder, you got anything? Nah, bro. I can walk down to 5. I'm like, ah, crap, dude. Cooked. Necros. Yeah, we lose the game. That game's pretty much over. I'm like, whatever, it's a wash. First game. So I'm gonna lose a bracket. I'm a little aggy, I'm not gonna lie. I try not to be aggy at tournaments because especially everyone has different like experience levels and stuff, whatever. So I didn't really show like blah blah. Obviously, I talked to the dude that was on Malcolm Vile. Was in my LGS, and I was like, damn, bro, that kind of felt really bad. Blah blah blah, whatever. But you know, it is what it is. Wash my hands. Go to the next round. Next round is a 3-pod, right? I'm in a losers bracket. Right? A lot of ties that round. Not a lot of people won a game that round. But I'm in a 3-pod. There's 2 3-pods going on. Hilarious. I'm in first seat, and it's the 2 guys that were in my first pod that we all lost together. So one of them calls the judge, like, hey, randomization, blah blah. Judge is like, yeah, I randomized it. Sorry, this is the pod, blah blah blah. So I'm in first seat. My hand's pretty hot. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I keep like first 7. I have a turn 1 Necro that I don't do because there's like a pre-game talk, basically like, hey, like this is a 3-pod, like, you know, Kennen, you know, you maybe like mull for interaction, so like we don't just like die, right? So I don't turn 1 Necro because I'm assuming the Kennen player has like something, right? So like I'm assuming like he's playing responsible. Nope. Long story short, nope. I play a fish turn 1. Fish doesn't get fed for 2 turns. There ends up being a Sarah's Ascendant turn 2 because turn 1 he cast a Delight Halfling. Cast a Delight Halfling turn 1. I'm like, okay, cool. Elevator might come out. I don't know. So Kennen doesn't really do anything of note. Go to my turn. Turn 2, I keep the fish round. Doesn't get fed a single card. That's pretty cool. Whatever. Turn 3. So turn 2, he casts the Sarah Ascendant. Turn 2, Kennen, I think, cast Kennen. Nothing of note. Like, literally nothing. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I believe I have, at this point, I have Kark out, and I like Gix Probe. I Gix Probe, I look at their hands. They don't have anything. They have no interaction. Cool. I Dark Crit. I Necro for like 20-something. I Chain of Vapor the Sarah Ascendant, because, you know, Sarah Ascendant, you know, don't want to die to that. Sarah Ascendant, Kark does good. I bounce something off Kennen's board. Kennen bounces my Necro back to my hand. I'm like, cool. Great, love that. The other player, I think I at this point I have Bergie out too. So he bounces my Bergie back to, he attempts to bounce my Bergie back to my hand. Or something of the sort. Yeah, something like that. And essentially, I end up pacting, so I kept interaction. I had a pact and I had a offer you can't refuse. So before my Necro stuff gets back, whatever, I have a Mox Opal out too. So I pact negation, and then I offer you can't refuse. And I'm sorry, Kark is not out at this point, right? All these spells are resolving because Kark's not out. Oopsie dookie. So I packed, and then I hold priority. I'm like, I hope I don't die. Hope Kennen doesn't have anything. Look, he doesn't have anything. So I get the treasures. The elevator plays like freaking out, like, why'd you waste 2 pieces of interaction? Blah blah blah, whatever. I'm like, whatever, dude. So I get my Mox Opal online, and then I go to Instep, and then I'm like, okay, cool, Necro trigger, and then Judge, they don't understand how Necro works, and that there's a late trigger, blah, blah, whatever you call Judge explains it to them. I get 20 cards that I don't have to exile, and I get to draw a card in my upkeep. Awesome for me. I end up getting a Valley Flood Caller, not really having enough to push, and at this point, I've looked at their hand, so I know they don't really have anything, and they're not winning turn, I guess, 4 at this point. So, cool. Lose back. I bounce the Sarah Ascendant. I have a Bowmaster out. I kill the Lighted Halfling or something, or some dork that he had. And then it goes to his turn. He just passes the turn. He doesn't recast Viserys' send down. I'm just like, oh, that's kind of suspicious. Whatever. Kennen doesn't really do anything of note. So it goes back to my turn. I am kind of suspicious because, Elevir, keeping up mana, whatever, not recasting, the only thing they can cast, which is the Viserys in it. So I'm like, that's pretty awkward, right? So there's a card that he has that I don't know about. So essentially, I go through and I look at his hand. Oh, look at that, an Angel's Grace. That's an Angel's Grace. So now I have to play through this Angel's Grace. And my original plan was to, and again, I don't have a Necro out anymore. Because they bounced it, but I have a bunch of cards and I have a bunch of things to do. So basically, card boards out. I have a Steam Corn Artist, I have a Tavern Scoundrel, whatever. So I'm making a bunch of mana. I'm doing the correct thing, and my plan is to get the Angel's Grace out of his hand. So I wheel, so he's forced to cast it. Right. I look at their hands again. I have quite a few cards look at people's hands. Kennen doesn't have anything. Elevir doesn't have anything, right? They don't have anything to do. Elevir's tapped out. Kennen has no free interaction. So I start brain freezing. My plan is to brain freeze him out, brain freeze the other guy out. And with Kark, it's pretty simple to do. You basically just keep getting the brain freeze back. So I think I have Kark's thumb out at this point. So I'm able to basically, there's a storm trigger. It doesn't matter. The original spell bounces back to my hand. I'll make enough treasures, blah, 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 whatever. And so I'm milling them out. Other thing to mention, the freaking Elevir player has all damn near half of their cards in fucking German. So I don't speak German. No one does the other guy. And I was kind of not saying the guy's the bad guy, but oh, I'm gonna be super competitive and EV plus 0.5% have my cards in another language so no one can understand type stuff. Because essentially the first round we died really fast. We died turn 3, right? So 8 rounds, there's it's hilarious, by the way. There's 2 Tivits in a pod with 2 TNTs, so that goes to the whole time. There's 2 Shorakai players in the pod, so that goes the whole time. So we're okay, cool, you guys want to play? The guy's no, I don't want to play. I guys want to see my deck, whatever. I'm whatever, that's weird. Turns out half his cards are in German. So I'm not gonna try to read a bunch of German cards. And while I'm Gix probing his hand, I'm looking at him, I'm trying to what is this card? What is this card? Because it's Elevir and a bunch of Elevir stuff. I don't play Elevir, I don't know. So I'm recognizing some of the cards, and it's a card, and it has 3 modes. The thing's pick your poison. I don't remember the last mode it is. I'm what is it? And he's oh, it's irrelevant. I'm no, tell me what it is. I'm not gonna die some random oh, gotcha, right? So that kind of peeved me. And also something happened where I'm shuffling and then I offer cuts, and for some reason I don't know why people in the right, one of the guys, I'm not gonna say who it was, they start shuffling my deck it's their deck, and they're damn near riffle shuffling it, and I'm spazzing the fuck. I immediately kind of spaz. I'm bro, what are you doing? Because I had a player from another event. I have a beta red elemental blast, and it's one of my favorite cards, and some dude bent it. So I have my favorite card got bent because someone's not being careful with my shit, whatever. So I'm kind of mad sensitive to people handling my cards, and a lot of my cards are bad expensive, whatever. It's CDH, we all have expensive cards. So I'm please don't shuffle my cards like that. And he's oh, I'll shuffle them however I want. I can do whatever. And I'm I don't by explaining to him, hey, I have expensive cards, and he kind of da da da. So I'm kind of peeved about that. I'm peeved with the guy having half of his cards in German for whatever reason. And so back to the story, I'm brain freezing. All this is gonna make sense in a second. So I'm brain freezing him, and he makes a comment. He's be careful about brain freezing the Silencian player. I'm gonna fuck around and make 15 man out of nowhere. So right, your card's in German. I don't know your lines of Elevir, right? He's not playing a standard stacks Elevir list. He's playing turbo beats, or turbo beats, I guess. So I don't know his deck, right? I'm not going to sit here and try to look at half of these cards in German, get the Oracle text for all these cards and blah, 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 because I'm still try to play really fast. Oh, and also something happened where I have a Bergie out, I have a Tavern Scoundrel out, and I have a Stormkill and Kark, right? And I know you see the Kark thing, it goes forever. I have a bunch of triggers. I put a spell in the stack, and people for some reason don't know how, not for some reason, but they don't really know how to interact with Kark, right? I have these triggers, and they'll say something. I'll put a spell in the stack. They'll say something or try to respond or something before I'm able to announce my triggers, and then one of the players kind of got pissy at me, you didn't announce your triggers. I'm just this is my 10th spell I've cast this turn. I'm not missing my what are we doing, right? I'm trying to speed the game up. I'm not missing my triggers, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to make sure if I get stopped here, you guys have time to fucking play. right? Never again, by the way. Fuck that. I'm not gonna try to be courteous like that. Fuck that. So I'm brain freezing. He says that little comment like, "Be careful, you know, this latest player makes 15 mana." So I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude, cool." So I go a different route. Again, I'm under a Angel's Grace, and you know, trying to figure that shit out. So I brain freeze him out. I go until I get a Noxious, not Noxious, the fucking. There's some Phyrexian fucking card where you can exile people's graveyards. So I'm like, cool, I'll do that. I get that. And I mill his whole library. All right. I ask him, do you have any graveyard effects? He's like, no. And again, I'm not, you know, people are weird when it comes to that. You will say, do you have something? They'll say no, like, technically. And so I didn't want to, like, pass the turn, right? I mill both of them out, pass the turn, and, like, die to some bullshit Selesnya fucking secret tech that's in fucking German, right? And this guy, again, he's like saying this like weird shit like, oh, you know, don't mill the Selesnya player and make 50 minutes nowhere, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna make sure you die this turn on this Angel's Race, right? So my plan is to Necro, wheel, get rid of his hand. I have a Bowmaster out, but I don't have enough cards in my graveyard to, like, in my library to, like, ping him out and then, like, pass and then him die, right? So I'm like, cool. I wheel his cards away. He doesn't concede. All this time, he has no library, he has no hand, he doesn't concede the game, right? Usually people fucking concede when you're dead as fuck, right? So again, I'm like, fuck, his cards are in German. I have no fucking idea what the fuck these cards do. I'm not gonna die to random bullshit, right? So I'm like, cool, I'm gonna kill him this turn. So I recast my Necro. I recast my Necro to have a end step or a cleanup trigger to where I can recast the wheel and 100% just kill him and like not deal with any bullshit on the upkeep. So I'm going through that line or whatever, and it just is so weird because like after I finish it and I get the Necro, and it's kind of annoying because I'm at this point I'm reaching and I have to get the wheel into my hand, but I keep like not failing my card flips. I keep not failing card flips, so I keep having to counter my own wheel to not deck myself, whatever, and then eventually it bounces back to my hand. I'm like, cool. Go to end step, I discard a card, respond, and cast the wheel. And then he dies. And then he's like, well, you could have just passed the turn. And I'm just like, you could have just conceded. I'll never concede. What do you want? You could have been dead. You know, this could have been over like 20, 30 minutes ago. So that was turn round 2. Won that. That was annoying. Whatever. Still in bright spirits, whatever. I'm trying not to be a butthole. I don't like feeling like a butthole. And I felt like that game was very icky because of how long it went. And it definitely did not have to go that long. But, like, don't have foreign cards. Don't have, like, half your cards foreign. Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, if you like German cards, whatever. But it's just, like, right? Especially if they're not cards that, like, if, like, okay, cool, I have, like, a Forcible. Everyone knows what a fucking Forcible does, right? If I have a Culling Week, everyone knows what a Culling Week does. But, like, who knows all 3 rules of Pick Your Poison? Nobody. Like, who just knows that, right? Unless you play, like, Standard, I guess. I don't know. So, that happens, you know, whatever. I won in the 3 pod, you know, woohoo. Not to, like, diminish other players, whatever, but first seat, 3 pod, you know, it's whatever. So, after that, go to round 2. I'm in a 4 pod, right? I'm in last seat. This hand, it's pretty, I think I'm loaded on like 5 or something. I don't remember the hand too well. But not too good. There's, Kennen, there's a T&K, there's me, and then there's like, Gruul commander that like does stuff with artifacts. Sorry, I don't remember the name of it. Never seen anyone play this deck in my life, whatever. But he won a game. So like, I'm like, all right, cool. This might be like stacks or something because the commander allows you to tap. Like, the commander is basically kind of like Urza, where it lets you tap your artifacts for green, right? So I'm like, okay, you might be doing like a stacks thing or blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Europe, turn 1, Winter Moon. Not even Winter Moon. The other one. Winter Orb. Turn 1, Winter Orb. I'm just like, oh, fuck, that's crazy. Against a Kennen. All right, cool. Kennen, you know, does the thing, has a bunch of mana. T&K gets to the point where they have a Smothering Tithe out, and Kennen goes to Court of Callings for 4. He has an extra mana up, so I'm like, okay, he could have done 5 and got a Seedmore Muse and just like been totally unlocked. But he's going to get a Clever Personator to get a Smothering Tithe. The other players don't see it. I like, okay, cool, I'm gonna have to interact here because there's no way I can just have Kennen have a Smothering Tithe. That's insane, right? We're not doing that. Kennen also, yeah, I'm not letting that happen, right? So I like tell the dude that played the Winter Orb, hey, I'm only going to interact here because I don't have any free. I have a Flusterstorm. I do have a Force of Will, but like I'm not gonna tell him that. I have a Flusterstorm, and I'm like I have 2 lands at this point, and I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna like. I think I have 3 lands at this point. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna interact if you like don't like get rid of this Winter Orb. And he has a grinding station to get rid of the Winter Orb. So I'm like, hey, like we're getting behind. T and K has a freaking Smothering Tithe. They're not affected by this. Kennen's Kennen. They have mana. They're not affected by this. Only person affected is me and you. And like we need to get rid of this, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. Kennen like politics and say, hey, I'll get a Gunrandra. And I'm like, oh damn, shit, fuck, that kind of sucks. Because I have one in hand, but I just need this Winter Orb to be gone, so I can like do stuff, right? He gets a Glenronda, and obviously I can't like be like, no, I'm gonna counter anyway, and like expect the other player to get rid of his Winter Orb. So he gets the Glenronda, he stays to his word, right? Cool, awesome. He gets the Glenronda, and they have Glenronda on board to like kind of fight the T and K, right? Because T and K's ahead, they have a Ragavan, they have Smothering Tithe, they're pulling further ahead, like really fast, right? Goes to T and K's turn, and again, he doesn't get rid of the Winter Orb, so I'm still under this Winter Orb, right? But like the stage so that people have no interaction, blah blah, and X, Y, and Z. Goes to my turn. I cast Yursi right here. You guys can read it, but basically, whenever you attack, you choose 1 through 5. If you win all 5 flips, so every flip you win, you draw a card. Every flip you lose, you do 2 damage, right? So if you win all 5 flips, you can cast spells from your hand without paying the mana cost. So Omniscience, basically, right? So I cast Yursi, right? I'm still in this Winter Orb. I'm only on top 1 land. Goes back to my turn. Some things happen. TNK cast Crom, right? The turn before they cast Timna, it got killed. They cast Crom now, whatever. So he still has a bunch of mana, not affected. Winter Orb's still there for some reason. Goes to my turn. I have a land drop and the land eye on top tap for turn. So I Dark Grit. I'm like, oh, by the way, my Necro's gone. I got hit by a Ragavan. The TNK player decided not to cast my Necro and cast a Smothering Tithe instead. So that happened. So like everyone's not really too afraid of, you know, me Necroing, and also like there's a Glenrondra, so if I do try to do any of that shit, I'm like kind of cooked, right? So I basically Dark Crit into a Demonic Tutor. Again, let me Demonic Tutor, who cares, whatever. And then I get a Kark Stun with my Demonic Tutor. And if you don't know what Kark Thumb does, it's if you were flip a coin, instead of flip 2 and ignore 1, right? So you flip 2 coins, or you roll 2 dice, and essentially you get to pick whatever fucking one you want, right? Obviously the one that like is in your favorite. So they let me resolve that shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, hilarious, because Kark's Thumb plus Yursi is basically like a 75% chance for you to get like an Omniscience. Somebody told me that math, I don't really fucking know, but it ended up working out, right? I'm flipping. And again, like, kind of my mindset was I need to get ahead. I need to do something. Once an orb, I have no mana. I have no cards in my hand. So I get all 5. And again, the Kennen player has a fucking Glenrondra and just lets all this shit resolve. Whatever, right? So that happens. I get the Omniscience. I get the 5 cards. My top cards, it was fucking abysmal, bro. They were actually, it was a Ristic Study. It was, Archmage of Immaturus. It was a Harmonic Prodigy, and a Ristic Study, a Mindbreak Trop, and a land. I already had the Force of Will in my hand. So I cast the Archmage. Glenon's lose your shit for that. I cast the Harmonic Prodigy. Now, what this is, every spell that I cast, I draw 2 cards, right? Fucking what's the fucking guy called? The TNK player has a fucking Smothering Tithe, so pretty bad, right? Whatever. But I'm drawing a bunch of cards. Thing is, I have no fucking spells to cast. Because I drew like shit. So I play those 2. I drew those 2, Ristic Study and a fucking the rest of lands. I'm just like, fuck, bro. But like, I'm like playing it cool. I'm like, I cast the Ristic Study. I hold priority. I cast the Force of Will on my Ristic Study. Draw 2 cards, and then I Mindbreak Trap. That shit, and then, or something like that. Yeah, Mindbreak Trap, get some more cards. Oh, I have a Flusterstorm. Oh yeah, I fluster my own Force of Will to get the Storm triggers to draw a bunch of cards, right? They bounce my Archmage, right? So I still draw quite a bit of cards. Ristic Study resolves, I recast my Archmage. Archmage, I get a Breach. I have nothing in my graveyard to breach. So I cast a breach, I mind break trap my own breach, right? Hold priority, because like I'm thinking like, hey, he might like Glenarandra it, and then I can like da da da. But I don't want to take that chance because literally the only spell that I can cast is this breach and a mind break trap. Like that's the only thing. The mind break trap is the only thing that's gonna like literally everything else in my hand is fucking lands. It's fucking insane. So basically, I go through the line, blah blah whatever the fuck. Long story short, crazy shit happened. Omniscience, good effect to have, and I'm able to draw out whatever. I'm not gonna bore you. I win that game, right? From 4 seat, whatever. I end up making, so this was a cut the top 10. Seat 1 and seat 2 they get buys, like first and second set get buys, whatever the fuck. Right now, here where the tea comes. That other shit happened. Kind of annoying, whatever. Don't really care. Again, I'm here to have fun, right? It was $30 buy-in, right? 41 people. A lot of cool people came out. Not getting wrong, and I can't not stress this enough. The tournament organized was amazing. Like everything happened on time. Everything was orderly. The judge there was super sick, super cool. Everything, like nothing wrong with the tournament, nothing wrong with the venue, nothing wrong with the LGS. LGS super cool. Owner super sick guy, whatever. Go to the final round. It's 3 guys from my LGS, right? And then like a dude, is just some random guy, some cool guy. He has some really cool altars, whatever. Really cool dude. This is where things get really spicy, and this is why like I'm making this video. I don't know how long this shit is, but I'm making this video because of what happened here. So essentially, the pod are 3 Grixis and a Kinnan, right? I'm on Cork Silas. I'm in first seed. I have 11 points, so 1, 2, drew 1, 1 loss, and I have basically my whatever the fuck my percentage where I'm in first seed, right? First seed. Second seed is Malcolm Vile, the person that beat me first round, right? Third seed's Kennen. Fourth seed's a Rockside. Fuck Kennen, damn, right? I'm in seat 1, so I mull. My hand is a Mental Misstep, a Force of Will, a Soul Ring, a Ragavan, a Jessica's Will, I believe another land, and a One Ring, right? So my plan is to like, all right, cool. There's 2 other Grixis players, right? I have the Mental Misstep, which is really good against Grixis players because of, you know, fucking Coal in the Weak and Dark Grit, right? That's how they turbo out a lot of their powerful spells, right? So I'm pretty comfortable there. And then I'll probably draw another blue card for this Force of Will, or if worst case, I'll pitch this Mental Misstep for the Force of Will, right? My plan is turn 1 Soul Ring, or turn 1 Ragavan, then turn 2 Jessica's Will, get out, like, without Clark, get out my One Ring and get out my Clark that way, right? So I can, like, start grinding kind of the table out, because I know that probably the other 2 players, whoever, like, tries to win first usually loses, right? Especially with a bunch of Grixis. So my plan is to just overwhelm with card advantage by blah, blah, blah. That's my plan. What happened was, Rockside mulled down to 3. Vile, Malcolm mowed down to like 3 or 2, literally nothing. And then Kennen has like 7. So I'm like, all right, cool. I guess it's just me versus Kennen, I guess. My plan is like looking a little bit worse because I'm just like, fuck, dude. If he just like turbos out a bunch of rocks, I can't really like, oh, I have a grape shot. It wasn't a land, it was a grape shot. The other card was a grape shot. The grape shot was for Kennen, right? Because just in case. So I had a plan for Kennen. I had a plan for whoever Grixis player popped off. And I had a plan to push myself further with the Wind Ring, whatever the fuck, right? So turn 1 goes, I cast my Raggy Boy. The other player, he I think he like plays a rock or something, or not even that. I think he plays a rock, he plays a land, he LEDs, he cracks LED, plays Malcolm. No cards in hand. All right, cool. Other players on fucking 3. Kennen plays a turn 1 fish. In my mind, okay, he doesn't have any other rocks. He does not developing anywhere else. He plays the fish, and I'm assuming he has 3 Grixis players, so he's assuming has to like go off and he draw a bunch of cards. But 2 of the players have no fucking cards in their hand. So he does that. I don't Mental Misstep it because like I don't give a fuck, right? 2 players don't have cards in their hand. End step. No, not end step. We agree, hey, fish pack, whatever. I don't really give a fuck. Goes to Rog size turn, 3 cards in hand. He like cool out fish pack. He casts Rog. He plays land. Goes to my turn. Now I can, for some reason, I'm the one that said fish pack. I don't know why the fuck I did that, but I don't do my plan. I don't feed the fish a bunch. I don't feed the fish at all, actually. I don't cast my Soul Ring. I don't cast my Justice Will. I don't cast my One Ring. I just cast Clark Pass, whatever, right? Goes to player's turn. Malcolm Vile, he doesn't do shit. Attacks, right? Whatever. Goes to Kennen player's turn. He fakes your fish. And so this is where I know that the Kennen player is kind of fucked, right? Because the Kennen player kept this fish expecting to draw a bunch of cards. He doesn't play any rocks. He doesn't play any dorks. He does not advance his board. He pays fish pass. Kind of like insane to me a little bit because two of the players don't have fucking cards in hand, right? So Rockside in step, Vamp Tutors, right? He Vamp Tutors, mental misstep. I don't mental misstep it. He has 3 cards in hand. I am betting that one of those cards is either Necro or an Adnals, and the card, or like those cards in his library, and he's tutoring for either a Dark Writ or a Calling the Week, or like some combination of that. So I know there's going to be a Dark Writ or a Calling the Week in there, so I save a mental misstep for that. And I do have Kraken at this point. So it goes to his turn. He not obviously, but he goes for a Dark Writ. Cool, mental misstep. Oh, also at this point, Kennen gets rid of his fish. He got rid of his. Where is his fish? No, he did not get rid of the fish. He stole the fish. He paid for the fish. End step. The Rockside Vamp Tutors, already said that. Goes to the Rockside player's turn. The Rockside player, obviously, fucking Dark Writs, like, duh. Either that or it's gonna be Calling the Week. He Dark Writs. I mental messed up. He mental messed up. My mental messed up. My Krark trigger on the stack. My Krark flip fails. Hilarious. Cool. He has the Dark Writ. And then he Necros. Kennen Mind Break traps it. Good to go. Awesome. Goes to my turn. At this point, I'm like, okay, cool. I see the Kennen player like 2 turns off. He didn't really develop anything. He has no mana, whatever. Don't really care. So I attack the Malcolm Vile player because they're tapped out because they obviously swim with Malcolm. So I get a Talisman from their library and I cast Soul Ring, I cast Talisman, I top decked a Ristic Study. So I cast the Ristic Study, kind of like as bait, like a little bit. Because in my mind, Ristic Study really isn't doing shit. Because, again, one player has literally 0 cards in hand, and the other player literally has no cards in hand either. So, like, I'm like, whatever, bro. I'll cast this Ristic Study. Because maybe the Kennen will feed me a little bit because they now have to develop. I'm feeding Kennen. They have to do something. You literally have to. They have 2 lands. That's all I got. So, he Swan Songs it. Good with me. Get Swan Song. Cool. Whatever the fuck. I pass the turn. Malcolm doesn't do shit. Obviously, they just swing. Whatever. Kennen, they fuck around. They let the fish die. They cast a Grim Monolith into a Ristic Study. I have a Force of Will that I don't use. And the whole time, it's kind of funny. The judge is like sitting next to me and they like see my hand. And like, I kind of see, like, he doesn't do it. Like, I kind of see it a little bit. He's not, obviously not like, but I kind of see him like kind of like make little eye movements. They're like, why didn't you like, because like, I didn't counter the fucking fish and I didn't counter the fucking Vamp Tutor or whatever the fuck. And like, it makes sense to me why not to do things. That's why I'm explaining them. So I don't counter the Ristic Study. Again, I don't give a fuck. 2 players don't have cards in hand. The only person who's going to feed the Ristic Study is me. And like, again, he didn't develop. Like, he has 3 lands and a tapped Grim Monolith. Good. Well, don't give a fuck, right? No man open. Goes to Rockside's turn. Rockside doesn't do jack shit. Goes to my turn. At some point, a Bowmaster comes out. I show the Malcolm Vile player. He plays the Bowmaster. I show him that I have a Gut Shot in my hand. I'm like, hey, I want to use this for Kennen, right? Don't touch any of my things. The second you touch my things, I'm going to kill the Bowman, right? He agrees to that. And he just hits me in my face. I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. At this point, it goes to my turn. I cast a Jessica's Will. I win the Jessica's Will flip. And I flip fucking pretty bad. Pretty bad, kind of. It's 6 cards. 3 of them are lands. 3 of them are fucking lands. One of them's a Storm Kiln. One of them's a Tavern Scoundrel. And the other one's a fucking Talisman, right? And I have, I think, 18 mana. Because Kennen has 9 cards in his hand at this point. I go ahead and I cast the Tavern Scoundrel. I pay for Ristic. I cast the fucking Storm Kiln, pay for Ristic. And all that's in my hand is a Peak and a Peak, Force of Will, and the One Ring, right? So I'm like, fuck. I have 3 like chances to draw something, right? Again, at this point, oh yeah, I hit the Kitten player with the Ragavan, and I flipped a Veil of Summer, right? So I cast Veil of Summer. That's like one of the first things I do after I cast the Tyrant Scoundrel and stuff, because like, you know, I cast it. In response, the Malcolm player, they go ahead and they Veil of Summer, not Veil of Summer. I'm sorry. They Tainted Pact. They they exile like Mean Bet. They exile Thassa's Oracle, and they get Soulmental Misstep. Right, very important. Like he exiled a bunch of win cons, to get this mental misstep, and he mental missteps my Veil, and like I'm showing him like, hey bro, like maybe like da da da, and he's like, hey, I don't want it to go back into Kennen's hand, blah blah blah, whatever. Like doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because like Kennen like isn't really doing shit, whatever the fuck, right? Going in, I am feeding Kennen a bunch of cards, so like I guess so he mental missteps it. I win the card flip, so now I have, you know, my spells can't be countered. Kennen already used the Mind Break Trap, and the other 2 players have nothing in hand. So the only thing that could really fuck me is like, well, if I don't draw anything, right? So from that, I don't really remember what I drew. It was nothing good. I think it was another land, and I was like, fuck. So I go ahead and peek. Literally, the other 2 players literally have no cards in hand. I peek Kennen. Kennen has fucking nothing. Nothing. Literally nothing. Even if I pass the turn, they're not doing jack shit. They had a bunch of lands, right? So I draw into a fucking Thought Scour. So I get 2 more draws from Thought Scour. Thought Scour, I mill the Kennen player, mill some good shit, not gonna lie. And then I fucking get a Necropotence. Again, so to be very clear, when the person Tainted Pacts, I show them my hand, and I show them the only thing that I have is a peek and a fucking One Ring, right? So like 3 cards, right? He already exiled most of his like his win con, so it's like how fucking deep can he go into his library when he has 0 cards in hand and Kennen's drawing an asinine amount of cards, right? Because at this point I don't really give a fuck because I have a Veil of Summer, right? So I'm not really paying for Ristic, and I saw his hand, he didn't have anything, so actually I am paying for Ristic at this point. Sorry, I stopped paying for Ristic a little bit later, so I'm able to draw some cards. I eventually draw a Necro. I cast Necro, and the table kind of freaks the fuck out. Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a fuck? I have Veil of Summer. They can't do anything about it. I Necro. I leave myself with 3 life just in case I don't get the Born, but I get a Vamp Tutor. And I'm able to Vamp Tutor, and I cast the One Ring for 2 reasons. 1, to not get Enduranced, and 2, so just in case I don't get the Born or the Valley, I'm able to go ahead and Vamp Tutor and be left at 1 life, and then tap the One Ring to draw the whatever the fuck, right? So it happens, whatever the fuck. I cast the Born upon the Wind. Everyone basically concedes, and everyone concedes. Everyone's like, yeah, fuck. Well, you have fucking 30 cards in hand. You have a crazy board, blah blah. Obviously, like whatever. Like they concede, and like my hands are clammy. It took a long time. Whatever the fuck. Like, cool. I won another tournament. I shake the guy's hands. I do like the little fucking shake the player's hands. I go to shake the Kennen's player hand, and he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking kind of. I'm like, oh, like I'm not like picking up on it too much. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? I'm not like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he kind of just like, you always do this shit. I'm just like, the fuck are you talking about? And like, he like starts like going off from the Malcolm Val player for not going for a Mind Break Trap. And like, one of the other players is like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I guess counter more spells, I guess? I don't know. Like, what the fuck was he supposed to do, right? He was supposed to mill his entire library. And this is a finals game. This isn't like Swiss, right? This isn't like we can draw here. Somebody has to win. And you're drawing a million cards. Like, I'm literally feeding him so many cards. At the point where I have the Veil of Summer, and I have the Necro, I just don't give a fuck anymore. He can't. There's nothing he can do to interact with me. So he's like fucking like kind of going off a little bit, and like it kind of hurt me a lot because like this person, we like it kind of got me into CEDH and shit like that, or whatever. And like we've gone to tournaments before. And like it just really like what the fuck, man. It was kind of out of character, so I was like that kind of whatever. He wouldn't shake my hand, and he's like kind of going off me a little bit, like you always do this shit, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. It's like, and like he's acting like I lied. I told him I could not win with the cards in my hand, like dead ass. I had 3 draws to find something to do, and it's really funny to me when you like I play a lot of decks. I've played probably around 20 20, 25 different lists, whatever. And I play like different shit, and I play things I think are fun. And when I brought this list to the fucking tournament, everyone kind of like sneered at me a little bit. And when they saw that like I was in first place, whatever, like first seed, they're like, huh? So it's really funny. I cast the fucking, what? It doesn't matter. Basically, he just does all that shit, doesn't shake my hand, and the other people that came from my LGS, the only one of them said like congratulations, blah blah blah, thing, whatever the fuck, right? And it's fucked up because we play Magic together like twice a week, every week, right? And like I'm like, okay, none of them like they don't say anything, blah blah, they kind of just leave, right? And I just like started just like picking like things up a little bit. I'm just like, damn, like have they like, always been like that? And I'm just like going back in my head, I'm just like, when I got there, right, I told them I was gonna come, but then I like woke up, I partied the night before, and I decided to come, whatever the fuck, whatever. And like I'm like, hey guys, and they just don't even acknowledge me. Only one person acknowledges me, like, oh hey Mike, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Okay, maybe they're in the zone, whatever the fuck. But it's like this shit kind of happens kind of pretty fucking often. Like they'll go to a tournament or something, and like, oh, we don't have any car. Like I don't really give a fuck, right? We don't have to like drive me. Like they all drive there together, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. Only 3 people went, and it's a fucking like SUV. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care, right? I'll go there myself. And it's just like always like little bitty like hater shit. That like I guess hindsight's 2020, but it's just like we're playing a game and like I don't know, I do shit for fun, right? If we're playing like with friends, I'm not like super uber like, oh, I'm gonna fucking try to win. Like it's not like tournament mode, right? And like I remember just one of them like calling me stupid. And it wasn't like, haha, you're stupid, bro. It was like, oh, because he's fucking stupid. And again, I didn't really pick up on it, but I kind of like checked him like, who the fuck are you calling stupid? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I did this for fun. Like, I could have killed the shit out of you. I decided not to because I thought it was just more funny, right? Like, little shit like that. Like, just little shit. Like, little hater shit that, like, you don't really understand or see until, like, you, like, look at the bigger picture. Like, just little dumb shit, whatever. But anyway, if I say I'm pretty pissed off, right? I won a tournament, right? Fucking 8 hours of fucking Magic, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just, like, the people I thought, like, my friends, whatever, they're not even, like, fucking there to, like, support me or, like, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. And so the judge kind of sees it, and, like, the owner is like, well, that's kind of fucked up. And I'm like, I have, like, little bit of tears in my eyes. I'm just, like, I'm not, like, a super emotional person, but that kind of really fucked me up, bro. And I, like, explained to them, like, fuck, man, like, I've been in tournaments with this dude, like, I've thrown games because, like, I wasn't in contention for top 16 or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck, and I'll just, like, not stop a win, or, like, not fucking, like, push for a win, whatever the fuck, right? And whatever, you say whatever the fuck, right? Fuck the, like, the other person, like, oh, they, whatever. And that shit, like, I'm like, damn, dude, like, I could have really fucked you over a lot of times. Like, this is, like, really, like, how you're, like, gonna, like, do it. And what make it so bad, so the tournament was, like, for the qualifier, damn, I'm rambling. I was the qualifier for, like, the Black Lotus Invitational. And they already fucking won one. They've already won. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so upset because, you know, I really wanted this invitational, blah, blah, blah. He's already won a fucking invitational. And he already, like, got, like, all, like, whatever the fuck, right? So I'm just like, what? Why are you, like, it makes no fucking sense to me why you're so upset that you lost a tournament that you've already fucking won. Like, you've already won one of these, right? And second, like, it's not like some random fucking person. It's like I lied. It's not like I fucking blah, 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 whatever the fuck. And it's just like, why are you, like, being so fucking blah, blah, blah? So, like, cool. I leave, right? No one says anything to me except that one person and the other Rockside player. And, like, I leave the group chat, whatever the fuck, right? I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck them, right? And then, like, the other day, I go to the Magic store, right? No, they don't say anything, right? He sees me, doesn't say shit. I'm just like, and none of the other fucking people, except the one person that, like, congratulated me and shit like that from the LGS, cool guy, they don't say shit to me. They don't, like, hi, hello. They just, like, ignore me. And I'm just like, what kind of fucking pussy-ass hater shit is this? That, like, I'm just not understanding, like, what the fuck the fucking disconnect. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the fuck he said to them. I don't know whatever the fuck. But I'm like, I'm texting another person, asking them a question about something, and they just, like, full on leaving me on red and shit. I talk to them on Discord, or I hit them up on Discord, full on leaving me on fucking R. And I'm just like, what the fuck did this asshole say to them? Like, what the fuck did I do? Right? Whatever the fuck, right? So, all this to say, the tournament left a really bad taste of Magic in my mouth. Usually tournaments do. Surprisingly, the only tournament that, like, didn't fucking suck ass, yeah, like, almost every single one I went to, I've been just, like, just the players are so fucking toxic, and they're so, like, man, And it's like, I understand the, like, I guess, like, prestige, whatever the fuck, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking game, bro. And if you're not having fun, like, if you're so caught up in winning that you'd, like, throw, like, I guess, a friendship away because for whatever fucking ego bullshit, like, you don't need to be playing Magic. Like, you don't need to be playing. If you're, in my opinion, if your number one thing isn't having fun, you shouldn't be playing fucking Magic. Because you literally just ruin it for everybody the fuck else. And obviously, it's my opinion, whatever. But it's like, yeah, I just really felt like I had to make this video because, like, again, I don't really have anyone, like, to talk to about it because, like, all my fucking people that play fucking CEDH, they don't fuck with me anymore. Whatever the fuck. And I guess maybe if they see the fucking video, they'll be like, tell me what the fuck I did wrong. I'm never gonna apologize for fucking winning. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. And again, I didn't make any deals with anyone. I didn't lie to anyone. And it's just like, ugh, whatever. So hopefully, y'all don't have to deal with any of that shit. Hopefully, when you play Magic with people, hopefully they don't be assholes to you. And I just really want to bring awareness to just like the toxicity that comes in tournaments. Like, let's please stop doing that shit. Like, go there, have fun. If you win, that's awesome. Like, it's like winning the fucking lottery, bro. If there's like 40 people, that's 1 in 40, right? Like, there's so much variance in the game that even if like you're the best player, whatever the fuck, right? Like, you're still gonna lose to random bullshit. Like, you can't get upset about that shit. Like, the best players scrub out of tournaments all the goddamn time. That doesn't give you an excuse to be an asshole to people because you're upset, whatever the fuck. What are my 2 cents? So, lastly, the prize for winning the tournament was an invitational to this Black Lotus tournament that I'm gonna go. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go for fun. I think it's gonna be fun. You know, if I win the Black Lotus, that's gonna be fucking awesome. If I don't give a fuck because I'm playing Magic for fun, right? I won an LED. This is my most expensive card that I have now, I think. Haha. Haha, I'm poor and I don't have a fucking LED. But I won an LED. I won these super cool fucking dice. They're glass. Really funny. I fucked up one of my cards, rolling them on them. Hilarious. And then I won, like, they gave me, like, a deck box and, like, some innards and shit like that, whatever. But again, it all felt really fucking shitty because, you know, of that shit happening. Later on, I'll probably make, like, a deck tech video on this. I don't know. I've only been playing it for, like, a week. Whatever. But it's really fun deck, really fun list. I had a lot of fucking fun playing it. Had a lot of fucking fun doing it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's me. See you guys on the future. Stay gaming and hopefully your gaming experiences and shit.